Welcome back to Never on Ask with me, John Martin, and we have another station review. Today we're in Yorkshire, in the Calder Valley, and the town of Todmorden. Apologies for anyone seeing Todmorden Station and came here for a review of an Australian cattle ranch, but stick around, you might learn something. The station is on the eastern side of the town, where Rise Lane runs into Station Approach. Todmorden is a junction station. It sits on the Calder Valley line that is one of the routes between Manchester and Leeds. Walsden is the next station towards Manchester, 1.6 miles away. Hebden Bridge is the next station heading towards Leeds, 4.5 miles away. The Todmorden curves that allow access from Manchester to the Bury to Blackburn line along the Copy Pit line were recently reopened, with Burnley Manchester Road 9.25 miles away. The Manchester and Leeds Railway was an early proposal for a railway, contemporary with the Liverpool and Manchester. However, the proposal stalled, and it took until 1836 for the first Manchester and Leeds Railway Act to be passed in Parliament, with another passing the following year with amendments to the route. The railway opened up in 3 parts. Manchester to Littleborough, opening first, Hebden Bridge to Leeds, or the roundabout way this railway used running powers on other lines to get to Leeds, was the next, with the final section being delayed by work on the Summit Tunnel between Littleborough and Todmorden, which was at the time the longest railway tunnel in the world. The station opened, along with the line, through the tunnel in March 1841. The line missed a lot of major towns, including Leeds, but that's a whole other issue, such as Bradford, Oldham, Halifax, Burnley. Todmorden was advertised as the station for Burnley. A new line was planned to serve Burnley, a town that was also on the rival East Lancs Railway network. By the time the new branch opened up in 1849, the Manchester and Leeds Railway had become the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway. The two networks linked in Burnley in 1850, and in 1859 the East Lancashire was absorbed by the Lancashire and Yorkshire. The L&Y became known for being one of the most intensely served networks in the country, although maybe not with the standards of passenger experience or cleanly locals that some of the other networks strive for. The L&Y joined London and North Western in 1922, 1923 became part of the London Midland Scottish Railway, and 1948 saw the coming of British Railway. The cuts of the nationalisation era bit Todmorden. Long-distance services stopped running through the station, and the Manchester-facing curve to the Copy Pit line was removed in 1972, so passengers from Todmorden and Manchester had to change at Hebden Bridge to get towards Burnley and Blackburn. In 2015, after a £10 million investment, the 300 metres of Todmorden curbs were reopened. There are 2 side platforms here, linked by a subway. Both platforms are 121 metres long. Marks for services 6 out of 10. So I visited this station during the Huddersfield blockade, where Huddersfield was closed for a revamp. So there were Trans-Pennine Express services calling at Todmorden. This isn't normally the case. Instead, services at Todmorden are normally run just by Northern trains. So we have a fast Leeds to Manchester Victoria service, where Leeds is 50 minutes away, Bradford about half an hour away, Hebden Bridge 6 minutes away, and going towards Manchester it's 10 minutes to Rochdale, 25 to Victoria. There is a slower Leeds to Wigan Walgate service via Victoria and Swinton. Wigan is another 40 minutes on from Victoria, and the other service from Leeds is to Chester via Earlstown, which is another hour beyond Manchester. We also have the Headbolt Lane, Kirby, to Blackburn service via the Todmorden curves. Headbolt Lane is hour 55 from Todmorden. Blackburn is just over 25 minutes away, and Burnley near to quarter of an hour away. From the 23-24 figures, we had 599,300 passengers a year, which makes a daily average of 1,642 passengers. There were 935 scheduled services each week, which is about 12 1/3 passengers per service. Passenger numbers were rising until COVID and after COVID, but the latest set of figures haven't hit the pre-COVID levels. Marked for onward travel, 3 out of 5. The station bus stop has 4 routes calling at it: the T1, the T2, the T6 and the T8. All of these go to Todmorden bus station. The T1 is a circular route that heads to the bus station, then loops via Lightgate back to the bus station. T2 is a circular via Longfield. T6 is via Walsden and Mankinholes, and the T8 is the reverse of the T6. The T1 is a half-hourly service, but only goes past the station every hour. The T2 is hourly. The T6 and T8 are 2-hourly. The 590 Halifax to Rochdale bus runs nearby Rochdale Road roughly every half hour. The Rosendale Rover number 7 Todmorden to Rosenstall bus runs about 5 times a day. The town's bus station isn't too far, sitting under the viaduct about 5 minutes walk away. Marks for accessibility, 3 out of 10. We have a staff station, we have announcements, we have displays. However, only the Manchester-bound platform has step-free access via the car park. The subway to the platform is only accessible by stairs. Marked for station facilities, 4 out of 10. There's a ticket office here, open every day, as well as ticket machines. There are covered waiting areas, however there are not any toilets. We do have an art gallery on the Manchester-bound platform. We have a 55-space car park and space for 10 bikes. Marks for care and character, 14 out of 20. Todmorden is the first and so far only station where I've been threatened at for taking videos on the platform. So it's getting a minus mark for a scumbag passenger. Which is a shame, as this station has a lot to offer. The smart stone building has some very impressive period features, such as the ticket windows. There are lots of posters on display in the subway, and there are many floral arrangements, both outside and on the station. The art and craft feel of this line, with Hebden Bridge one stop on, is carried on by the studios and gallery on the platform. It's a shame, however, that Northern haven't taken as good care of the subway, which has loads of issues with the paintwork. Marks for nearby things, 4 out of 10. Todmorden is a lovely town with many beautiful buildings. However, it does suffer of being the meeting point of 2 steep valleys, so there isn't a lot of space for the town itself. This gives the hotel opposite station. It's not too far walk from the markets and Aldi. The viaduct gives good views over the town from the train, and it starts only a few minutes walk down from the station, so that is worth checking out. And if it wasn't raining, I may have. So overall, no cattle. Did you come for the cows and stick for the platforms? If so, leave a comment. I visited this station when TransPennine were running through the station. Did people who use this route rather than the Huddersfield one enjoy the change of scenery? This station gets 33 out of 65, notching it up to 51%. The charms of this station are let down by its accessibility. Once again, thank you for watching as I travel around the country. Please like, subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of the next station review.